Okay, so here we are with Simon Müller. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. So, first of all, congratulations on the album, which is absolutely kick-ass.
Oh my God, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Um, and yeah, and I thought it was so interesting that this album, you recorded everything remotely and then mixed everything later.
Yeah,
So how was that as like that must have been a really interesting experience to do everything separately and then to hear the final like how did that
yeah, that's true. So, I mean, the fact that everything worked out that good was definitely not because of my computer skills or anything. I'm totally dumb best when it comes to that, but it was just, we were working on that stuff and we had so much time for this. And after we just, finished all of the recordings, it was just okay, let's give it away and see what we can get. And the result was also for us, we were pretty amazed by what Chris made out of our recordings. So Chris Wieserek. And yeah, so
yeah
we were totally mind blown afterwards too.
yeah I saw that so he mixed and mastered the album.
Yeah.
Okay, is he someone you really wanted to work with?
Oh yeah, definitely. So I mean, he did a really great job. We had good communication with him, so we never had any issues. So, and of course, everything was, as you just mentioned, remotely. So we didn't have the chance to meet him in person to talk about any stuff. So, and everything worked out perfectly for us. So we would definitely, yeah,
Is he
consider
someone
working
you wanted
together
to
with
work
him.
with because you liked his work on Is Okay or
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. So I mean, we already knew before about Anis Okay or the other bands that he did work together with. So that was the way why we wanted to work together with him, because we thought that he could kind of create the sound that we wanted to have for this album.
okay, of course. um Also, other than the album, the videos are super energetic, super out there, very visual. Is it really important for you? Do you feel it's important to have a visual with the music that you make?
Oh yeah, totally. So for me, it's pretty important because I really like having something visual besides the music, because most of the times I can kind of feel the vibes a little bit better when I see a music video in comparison to just listening to it on Spotify or wherever. So, but I also know people. So, for example, Jonas, our drummer, is someone that basically has not seen any music videos before we started creating our own. So he was the person that just goes with the sound. And I was saying, hey, come on, go and check out that song on YouTube because there is such an amazing video. So for me, it's pretty important. But yeah.
Okay. So the album, so it first it came out as an EP and then it was a full album, right?
So do you talk about the singles or
Yeah, so
what?
the singles came out kind of together.
Ah, yeah, yeah. So that's how they are listed in Spotify, I guess. But actually,
Yeah.
they were kind of part of the whole album, and then listed in this complete thing together. But it actually looks like it could be an idea.
I was very confused. I was like, wait.
Yeah,
Um,
that's crazy.
yeah, so the album In the Eye of Death, We Are All the Same is very strong, very punchy, like super intense. And it does have a lot of variety and nuance and like the melodic parts and the harder parts. What inspired kind of the name of the album?
Oh, the name of the album. Okay. Yeah, the thing is that we had we had a lot of discussions about the album title. So we were not, you know, we didn't have this idea right from the beginning. But the idea actually came from the lyrics of Common Grave, where this album title is included. So, and when it was just, you know, I proposed it to the other guys, and at the beginning they said, "Oh my God, that's so freaking long. Nobody can even pronounce it right without any mistakes." And I said, "But come on, those are so many small words. It's for me, it just sounds great." And yeah, then each of us did agree with that. But it was just, you know, the part of this of those lyrics. And actually afterwards we just recognized that this album title kind of works for most of the meanings of the song. So not only for Common Grave, where the where it's where it's coming from. So that's why we said, okay, that's a perfect album title, and we just wanted to call it that way, even though it's a little bit long.
It's long, but it's a very, I guess, visually enticing kind of name.
Yeah, true.
Very poetic.
Thank you.
So I thought the lyrics on the album are also very strong, very interesting. Are they, well, usually they are, but very inspired by personal experiences? Are they stories you want to tell? Are they specific emotions that you want to convey?
Yeah, I guess a mixture of all three things that you just mentioned. So of course, there are songs such as Can You See Me or Diverge that kind of manage my own problems or experiences that I made during the past few years. But there are, of course, also songs such as Thought of a Vision, Disease, or Common Grave that talk about specific topics that I would like people to know, so, or to think a little bit more about those topics, and where I just wanted to tell a story, kind of.
So you're talking about a lot about how you write the lyrics. So are you the only lyricist in the band?
Generally, I'd say yeah. But of course, so most of the times I'm working on the lyrics, and then I'm going to check, yo, what do you say about those lyrics, or do you like this idea for the topic itself? And it was never the thing that I just said, okay, those are the lyrics, and I'm going to sing it this way next week. So it was always this kind of discussion. But obviously, there is most of the times one person that has to do this job, or that creates some lyrics. Obviously, I don't have any problems if someone else is coming up with a nice idea. So that's not the thing. But that was working out right now. So if I'm doing this.
So is composing and writing something you like to do as a group? Does one person come in with an idea, then you all work on it, or do you kind of just jam until you find something?
Oh yeah, so it's actually someone brings an idea, as you just said, and then we kind of structure it and work on that. So probably especially for this album, we did most of the songwritings online. So it was all about Jeff is sitting in front of his computer with his guitar in his hand, and we say, oh, can you do this and that, and can you do trying this kind of sound? And then he was doing, okay, I'll do it. And then, yeah, in the end, this is what we came out with. So I guess everybody had lots of influence into the songwriting itself, not only the instrumental, so also the vocals and the lyrics and stuff. And I guess that's why all of us are that content with the album, because everybody had the chance to, say whatever he wants and put his effort into this album. And that's, yeah.
Yeah. So how, I'm thinking back to how you guys recorded everything remotely. How did you work to create this album, since, everyone's far away? Do you like send someone,
Yeah.
hey, I'm thinking of this, can you do this? And this album does have a very specific sound. You really have your own, you know, sound as a band.
Thank you.
Do the melodies kind of write themselves, or do you go towards something that you want to put in a song? Like, if I'm making any sense.
Yeah, sure. Actually, most of the times it was just coming up with an idea and seeing where it basically goes. But there was never a kind of a goal that we wanted to achieve. So we want to be that heavy or that emotional or that kind of harmonic or disharmonic parts and stuff like that. So it was just, okay, we think that here we could definitely put in some more heaviness or some faster riffing, and then we decide, okay, now let's take up the tempo a little bit, let's slow it down with a bridge or something like that. That was basically the way that we wrote the songs. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a song that you prefer on the album, or one that has like an interesting story behind it?
So we discussed this topic, and I'm glad that you asked me, so I don't have to answer for all of us. But I guess that Thought of a Vision would be my favorite song in general, because I really like the riffing in it. So just for the instrumentals thing, so Jeff brought out such a mind-blown riff that all of us instantly loved. And just this energy and this kind of power that this song offers is what really catches me, but also the message that it transports. So, I mean, the lyrics are about kind of the technology and how it increases and the way that human beings can deal with all of this technology. And this is something that kind of, yeah, I mean, each of us look at how we are communicating right now. This is all just made by technology, and this is how we basically live our lives. So that's why we definitely have to check those topics and think about everything twice before using or doing anything. Just kind of, yeah, that's basically what we're going to see within the next few decades, and that we already seen in the last few decades. So
I'm totally agreeing with you. I think Thought of a Vision is my favorite one off the album as well.
oh,
so
thank you. Nice.
I was like, oh, what a coincidence. No, it
Nice.
just it's very strong, and like it starts up the album kind of like a punch in the face. And then it has this really interesting melodious progression, and like it's really interesting to hear you talk about the inspiration behind the lyrics of, you know, this technology and everything. Do you think, you know, during this whole pandemic, technology did take a bigger part in our lives? Do you think that inspired it a bit?
Oh, so at the first, yeah, so it definitely took a bigger place in our lives. So that's a good point, but I do not actually think that. Oh, okay, probably it made its way into the lyrics because I had to work with that every single day. But actually, the idea behind the lyrics already existed a little bit before COVID. So it was probably just influencing it in a certain way, but the idea itself was already born before the pandemic started.
All right. I think there's another song on the album that I really, really like, which is Disease. And I think the video
nice.
for it is super kick-ass, as well as, you know, the video for Thought of a Vision, which is super cool. How did you guys choose kind of the singles that came out before the album did? I mean, if you choose it, or if someone else chooses it for you, but
no, that's of course that's our choice. But for most of the songs, we already knew when the songs were finished. Okay, this is definitely going to be a single. So, for example, Common Grave or Thought of a Vision were the songs that we said, okay, why shouldn't we pick those? Because they are our favorite songs. Common Grave is my second favorite, just mentioned that. But yeah, so we were totally fine with using those as the singles. And Disease, for example, was a song that we did not consider being a single from the beginning. There were some different reasons for that. But yeah, in the end, it was just probably the single that most of the people did like the most, as I just recognized. So at least what we can see on clicks or stuff, and from people telling us, "Oh my God, Disease is crazy," and I was just okay. I'm glad that we used this as a single and not.
It's just like we hear those first notes of the intro. We're like, yes. No, it's a great song and it's a great album. And it's very dark. Like it does have a very dark ambience about it. Like it's not just, it's metal and therefore it's dark. It's, it does have a very, darkness around it. And is that something that you wanted listeners to feel when they listen to the album? Like something intense, something,
At the end, yes. But at the beginning, I would say that there were no special things that we thought about. We wanted them to feel or we wanted to express with the music. So we basically wrote what we wanted to do. And then, of course, there were some influences from everybody within this last year. And then this kind of dark ambient vibe worked itself into the songs. We couldn't do anything against it. But yeah, to be honest, I really love this kind of dark ambient style after finishing this album. And I'm pretty thankful that we met with this kind of feeling, because it probably also is kind of something that people can rely to right now, or rely on, that their lives basically refer to the same stuff or emotions right now. And I guess that's why we kind of did choose that path, even though we didn't choose it in a certain way. But yeah,
like you didn't consciously go towards that, but I guess the last year has been kind of super chaotic, and that kind of transferred into your music.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, so it's interesting to see how a lot of music that's come out, especially in the metal scene during COVID, has gotten either really dark or, on the contrary, super fun to kind of hate. So I saw that you all know each other from the same city in Germany. So did you all meet? Like, when did you all meet? When did you decide to make music together?
That was actually a longer time ago. So it was about, I guess, 2013 when we first met. That was I was with a friend of mine in the local music store, and I wanted to buy some guitar strings. And then there was this kind of salesman called Jeffrey that asked us whether we would be interested in kind of forming a band or doing music together, because we had band shirts. So it was a little bit funny. And I just I said, yeah, of course, let's change phone numbers and stuff. But actually, I never thought about really approaching this kind of thing. And in the evening, I was at a friend, so at Bam Bam, bass player, and he was saying, "Yeah, why shouldn't we just let's try it out?" And that's basically when we first met. And then throughout the years, so many changes did happen to us. So that's why we basically did form DEFOCUS in 2019, where we kind of did take a new approach to what we wanted to do. And yeah, so we knew each other for a long time, but kind of DEFOCUS itself is consists in this way since 2019.
All right. So since the band is fairly recent, and I'm very glad that the pandemic didn't keep you from going on your path, and all of that. So now that everything's kind of calming down, do you have any plans kind of for your future?
Oh yeah, sure. So I mean, the biggest plan is obviously not only for us, but for all the artists that had to survive the last couple of months, just to be on tour, to be on stage, be on any single show that you can basically play, because this is what we all miss. So it was about 18 months right now that we had the last chance for being on stage. And this is definitely the goal for this year, to, meet people, be on stages, and just having fun with the songs that we wrote within the last few months, or the last 1.5 years, and on everything we worked on. So yeah, that's definitely our goal.
Yeah, congratulations. I saw that you were going to play Corefest next year.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Do you have any tours planned for this year that you can announce, concerts?
So there's that one more concert at the end of July in Ulm, where the location Hexenhaus is celebrating the 25th anniversary with a couple of bands. There are some other things that we are planning to do, but nothing that we already can kind of announce, because we're not that quite sure, because of pandemic and stuff. You'll never know what kind of works out. And of course, all of those people that are planning those shows and stuff, they have to be pretty patient, and that's why we cannot announce anything else right now. But hopefully there are some more things coming in within the next few weeks or a month, because as I just said, this is our goal for this year, and of course for the next year, that we are on stages. So yeah, I hope that there are some more things coming.
So this is going to be the first time you're playing this album live, right?
Yeah.
Is there a song you're like really excited to play?
Yeah, definitely Common Grave, because
that is your favorite.
No, it's not. I'm not sure. Probably it is. Probably it's Out of a Vision. I'm not quite sure. Probably I can say that after the first show. So, but yeah. So currently, I do think that Common Grave might be the one that I really like to play live, because of its energy and of those stompy parts that make this song so aggressive. And I bet that this song, or I could at least imagine that this song might kind of heat up the crowd a little bit, and this gives me something back that kind of encourages me to do a little more, and to put more energy into the set or in the next songs. And this is, I guess Common Grave might be the way to go.
All right. So your sound is, as it is today, do you see it evolving kind of in the future and changing a bit?
Oh man, that's a pretty heavy question. Because I mean, I
want you to see in the future.
That's a tough thing. So of course this was our first album, and we kind of decided in which direction we want to go, but I think that we did not reach the end of this path, and so our music definitely has to evolve in some kind of way. But to be honest, just the way we wrote the last album, nothing is kind of planned, and so I do not think that there is a general idea where we kind of wanted to get in some in a few years or whatever. But I guess that there's definitely going to be some sort of things that we keep from the songs that we wrote right now, and obviously things that will come in the future that we are not thinking about, that we're not even thinking about right now. So I'm pretty excited for that, to be honest. So that's why this question is that hard for me.
Hey, we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
I'll interview you another time and then we'll talk about it again.
Then we'll talk about the next album, yeah.
So with, you know, with the crazy experience you've had kind of putting this album out from, you know, recording remotely and then putting everything together and finally getting to tour, with all this crazy experience you've had online, do you have any advice for young up-and-coming bands?
I guess my advice might be, because I talked to some people that told me that COVID completely fucked up their band and they never had the chance of rehearsing together or creating music, that wanted to kind of write an album themselves. And I just can encourage everyone to make the best out of those times, because, well, as you just see, we had time to even write this album without thinking about that before the pandemic. So it's all about kind of being motivated. And of course, it's not that easy for everyone. This pandemic was kind of heavy for each of us. But I guess to pick out the best that you can take from this pandemic might be the best tip. And yeah, obviously for everyone that is planning to create some music themselves, just do it, because it's so much fun working on this and keeping it and kind of releasing some music. I mean, the feeling that I had when our first single, Common Grave, came out, it was just completely crazy, you know. So you did put some music in Spotify, YouTube, and wherever, and people actually listened to that. So it's not about you got that song online and you got below 1,000 clicks within the next few months. So it's just you can actually see a progress that people listen to your music, and that's what definitely keeps me going on doing that stuff, because that's the best thing that you can achieve, basically.
Wow. Well, that's great. That's wonderful advice. So thank you so much. This was for United Rock Nations. We thank you very much for being with us today.
Amazing. Thanks for having me.
Dankeschön.
Merci beaucoup.